Hello, my name is Dungeon Master Mike, and I will be the Dungeon Master or Game Master in Pathfinder terms for this campaign. We are the Mythical Misfits, a Pathfinder 2e actual play. Now, if you only play Dungeons & Dragons, don't leave. You're still going to have a good time, and you might learn something along the way. One cool little thing we're going to be doing in this show is teaching you how to play as the show goes on. So even if you've never touched a Pathfinder 2e book, that's fine. By the end of a few episodes, you're going to have a pretty good handle on it, and you're going to have fun doing it. So I'm going to start by introducing my players. First up, I got Dominic.
Yo, what's up?
I got Zane.
Hello, hello.
And Kirby.
Whoa.
Played around with the idea of giving you guys a nice big intro to the world, to the campaign, and to the player characters. But then I decided, why waste all that time when you guys can just hear us get to it? So we're going to start. And I'm going to do that by introducing you to the small village of Meadowfenne. An idyllic village that rests in the vast plains of the kingdom of Illyrian. A village that concerns itself more with the festivals that it throws to celebrate anything, rather than the affairs of the world at large. The winds of kings and the movements of armies matter little to a place like this. A home to humans, half-elves, hobbits, dwarves, and one goblin, the people of Meadowfenne care more about when your last meal was than your place of origin. They busy themselves to prepare for Sonastan, a summer festival to celebrate the waning of the heat and the coming of fall. We're going to start with that singular goblin, Crom. Where can we find you on this beautiful sunny day?
Crom is currently pushing a wheelbarrow full of fireworks, and I'm using quotation marks when I say fireworks, and is currently pushing them to a little display area where he plans on lighting them all. And then after delivering said fireworks, he is now waiting over at the inn for a nice big piece of mutton.
All right. What does Crom look like?
Crom looks like a goblin.
Good enough.
Yep.
Zane,
How's it going?
where can we find your character, Lucas?
Lucas will be sitting at the pond closest to town. It's rather large. He wears waders and waterproof boots. He wears a big brimmed fishing hat and normally caught wearing flannels and traveling bags he leaves on the sand as he fishes. If he ain't fishing, what else would he be doing?
All right. Now, lastly, we have Kyle. Kyle, where are you during the preparations of this festival?
So Kyle is currently in his little hut or his home, and as he's getting dressed, he's putting on his leather pants, his fur coat over that covers just his shoulders. He's kind of got like leather armor and like a tunic on. No sleeves because gotta show off the guns. And as he's getting dressed, the door opens and out walks a woman who is incredibly disappointed because when she asked to go play Sword and Sheath, he actually discovered that it was not just putting a sword inside of a sheath.
Okay. So she walks away dejected, irritated, confused, and so Crom, you bring your wagon of fireworks up to the part of the town center where you were told to bring them, and Golgan, the town alderman, who is a elderly dwarf with graying hair. He's got kind of a horseshoe balding pattern on his head, but his beard is still thick and something to be, respected of. And he comes up to you. He's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you. Thank you, Crom, for bringing us the fireworks. Before you, this town never really had this many celebrations. We'd have some travelers come in and out and bring some to us, but ever since you got here, the night sky is much brighter with you here. So I'm glad you're here, buddy."
Can I have mutton now?
Of course, yes. Head over there to the bent bow and, tell him that I sent you. You get your lunch. Absolutely, little guy.
Yes.
And then Crom skips off joyfully.
Okay. The Bent Bow is a local tavern that can be found kind of also in the town square, so you're close enough by. It's only like probably 30 feet away. Right. And it's very active. You know, it's a festival day. People are going in and out, getting food. They're already starting to have a few drinks, you know, having a good time. And Golgan turns and he's like, "Oh, Kyle! Kyle, come here.
What's up, Golgan?
And you go up to him, and he starts patting you on the back. He's a dwarf, so he's not nearly as tall as you.
Lower back.
And he starts patting. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So I need some help with these flowers. Would you mind setting them out in there?" And he starts pointing to the various poles, and you notice that they have set up like festival tents that kind of cover. They have tables set up and things like that. And on these poles are little baskets. Like, put some flowers in there if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Walk over and start putting flowers inside. I'm just like,
And Goga says, "Now, where the hell is Lucas? He's supposed to bring us a nice, good collection of fish for the fish fry later."
As you say that, actually, Lucas comes with what looks like a thin tree limb across his back, across his shoulders, with a bunch of fish hung by rope by their tail. You can count more than you can on both hands, as he's been fishing since before the sun came up, and he has his backpack in his right hand, and he's holding the stick with his left hand, supported by his shoulders. And he walks up to Gold and goes, "You know, you shouldn't talk about people behind their back, but I did get your fish."
He turns around. "I wasn't talking to you behind your back. You're clearly facing me, boy." And he starts like grabbing helping you get the stick off and bringing it over to the area where they're setting up the fish fry. And he's like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Absolutely.
And his big rosy cheeks like push up into his eyes with his gray beard hairs sticking off. And he's like, "Oh, you fished it good. You know, Lucas, you're gonna empty out our pond one of these days, and then where are we gonna go for fish?"
No, you just time it with the seasons.
He's like, all right. And then he looks up and he goes, "No, where's Zelda?" He's looking around. He's like, "She's supposed to have a special herb rub for these fish. Apparently she had a special one for this year." And then you guys see Elda run. She starts running from some of the buildings towards one of the main entry roads to the town. And Elda is an elderly human woman, and she is not often moving quick. She's a town herbalist. You know, she'd rather saunter around and pick flowers and herbs and make tinctures and all that kind of stuff. You follow her with your gaze, and they meet a large group of people that are surrounding something near the entrance of the town.
I look at Golgan and I go, "Hey, you know, I'm glad I could help. I'm gonna be right back. Hey, I need to steal Kyle real quick." And I yell, I'm like, "Kyle, hey, can you come with me for a second?"
Yeah, here, Golgan, can you hold these flowers?
I glance around for Crom.
Sure. And Golgan takes him and
Yo,
sets him on the
Crom,
table.
I need you.
Crom, come on, mutton
We
later.
gotta go.
Oh no, mutton now!
We'll get it later.
Here,
Come
sit
on.
up top, up. And like, Crom begrudgingly climbs up Kyle's back. I hand him his mutton. Oh my god!
Lucas is already kind of jogging over to the crowd.
Okay, and you start to head over there, but it's almost a moot point as the crowd begins to move towards you. And it opens up, and you see this man with his arm over Elda's shoulders as she's holding on to him and kind of helping him walk. Another villager comes in up under his other arm, and he's a man you don't recognize. His clothes seem to be leather armor. They seem to be well-made, tough, something you're not really used to seeing. As Crom and Kyle have not grown up, at least they weren't born in Meadowfenne, but they have spent a number of years here. And you all three know Meadowfenne to be a very peaceful place. You're not used to having seen the outside world very much, except for the occasional passerby. And Elda brings this man over to one of the tables that's under the festival tents, and she's like, "All right, move the plates." And they begin to slide the hand-carved wooden plates and bowls off to the side, and she sets him down. And at this point, now that he's close enough to you guys, you see that he is bleeding. In fact, there's a trail of blood left along the dirt that leads up to where, you saw the crowd gathered. And Elda sees, who's standing closest to her?
I was actually going to say, I run up to Elda, and having her being the herbalist who heals my burnt tongue 24/7, I run up to her and ask her if she needs any help.
Okay, and she's like, yes, here. And then she starts grabbing his armor and starts undoing some of the leather belts and straps that are holding it together and pulls it open, and it makes almost a wet sloshing sound as you see an open wound begin to pump blood. And so she pulls some cloth out of her knapsack and hands it to you. She's like, all right, hold pressure here.
Okay,
I need to go to my cabin and get some tinctures. And she begins to scurry off as best as she can.
Lucas, seeing the amount of blood pouring out of this guy, will immediately kind of like get pale in the face, and will instead turn around and draw his bow, knock an arrow, and kind of just jog along following the path of blood. Not adventuring too far away from what's happening, but he wants to see how far this guy has traveled in that condition.
Okay.
Crom would like to attempt to treat wounds on him.
Okay. So we'll start with Lucas. So you're trying to follow his blood trail?
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, weapon drawn. I'm not like pointing it at people, but I have like my bow and arrow knocked in my left hands, right hand free, and I'm just kind of jogging along.
So
the blood path.
You're able to follow the blood path for about 10 feet, but at that point, that's where you hit where the crowd has been. And now there's too many footprints. The dirt has been disturbed. You have no idea where, like, outside of where the first crowd started to gather, you don't know where he came from.
Do we have a general direction in which he came from?
So the road runs east to west, like the main road through town.
Gotcha.
So he was coming in from the east.
Assuming this guy was attacked, I didn't take a second to look at him. I will not leave town, but I will kind of stand to the edge of town, and I'll probably get on the side of the road, and I will kind of just crouch down in some bushes and just keep an eye on whatever could be coming, because no one just gets attacked for nothing.
Okay. And we'll go to Crom. You said you're going to treat wounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. I'm gonna lift my hands up, and you do your thing.
Whatever, shut up.
Why'd you have to grunt with the dice roll?
Hey.
He's in character. Leave him be.
It's because it's a bad roll, isn't it?
Don't ruin the suspense.
Mind your business. just want to
Shut your mouth.
Just want to double check, this one,
Do I have any
you
modifiers?
I mean, I do.
What'd you roll?
Sadly, I'm short 3.
So, Crom, you're used to treating burn wounds, explosion wounds, shrapnel wounds, the occasional scratches, I'm assuming from alley cats that don't want to play. You're not used to treating wounds of this severity. They are open, they are wide. You assume they are done by blades, but you're not exactly sure. And you do your best, but you can't seem to staunch the bleeding.
I'm not an expert, but I think this guy got stabbed.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna keep pushing down. Thank you. Thanks for trying.
All the commotion on the wound kind of wakes the guy up. He didn't pass out, but he was a little in and out. He goes, he grabs your arm,
Oh my
Kyle,
hi.
and he goes, he starts like pulling your hand off.
Hey, let's
then-
take a second.
He looks you dead in the eye, and he goes,
Let's take a second.
let go of me. And he reaches down and pulls something out of his pocket. And
What?
it seems to be an envelope.
Oh, thank God! I thought it was a dagger.
No, it's a paper envelope, and he lifts your hand off his wound. Blood begins to pour down his side again, and he puts it in your hand and clasps your hands over it. And he goes, keep it. Take it. Be careful. Keep it away from the ravens.
The ravens,
Please.
like the bird.
And his head thumps on the ground, or on the table, as he seems to lose consciousness.
I open my hand and I open the note.
Well, it's not a note, it's an envelope. As
Envelope.
it crinkles in your hand. It is blood-soaked paper. There's an object inside, but you're not sure what it is.
Can I open it?
Absolutely. Do you want to?
I don't know. Crom, can you hold my hand?
What?
Can you help me open this? Can you hold my hand?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes.
Hand in hand, brothers in arms.
How are you going to open it with one hand?
We each take one hand and open it.
For the sake of time, I'm not going to
Okay,
make you
fine,
roll
I just open
dexterity.
it.
Okay. You rip it open, and inside you find a metal coin.
A metal coin?
A single metal coin.
What color is it?
It's kind of like rusted iron.
Okay.
It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not platinum.
currency.
It's nothing. It looks like it's stamped, maybe currency, but you don't recognize it. It's not precious metal. You have no idea why someone would be trying to protect this so much. We're going to go back to Lucas.
I would like to roll a perception check, and I would like to now draw the arrow.
Okay.
As he's just getting this like impending doom feeling.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be, once I get the lights a little off, an 8 plus 7, so
It's 15.
15. Yeah, funny math rocks.
So, like I always say, scheduling and basic math, the two great enemies of TTRPGs. You're scanning the entrance, the road leading into town. Your eyes scan to the right. You're looking back at the crowd. You know these people.
I'd imagine that as he starts getting this weird feeling, because I mean, I'm not so far away from them that I can't see them, but I can't hear them. But I'd assume I would see the like guy hand something to Kyle and then fall back, and that kind of puts him off. He feels offset by that. It doesn't feel right. Most people aren't trying to give away possessions at their final moment, you know.
And you wonder later, you'll wonder back, you'll look back at this moment and you'll wonder, is that why you didn't see them? Part of you wonders, maybe you were just off put and your senses were off, or did they just show up? Because as your eyes then scanned back to the left, you were greeted with the sight of two heavily armored people that are less than 10 feet away from you. They're not walking at you, they're walking into town, but you have no idea how they arrived that close, that quickly. And in fact, you notice that these people don't even clock you. They don't even look at you with the side of their eye. They're looking at the man on the table, and they are walking. But they are not rushing. They don't look like they're bothered at all.
I'd imagine that Lucas, again, being like a hunter and a fisherman and, you know, avid camouflage enthusiast, would be kind of crouched down. And as he would see them coming, all of a sudden he would freeze. So his arm drawn back, bow forward in his left hand, and kind of lower down to the ground on one knee, you know, chest facing downwards a little bit. And he just wouldn't move. He would freeze entirely, and he would just track them with his eyes until they passed.
As they pass you, you get a good look at their armor, and some of them have some plates, some chainmail, but they also are emblazoned with beautiful embroidery work, gold and white. And on their shoulder, you see the golden symbol of a raven as their sigil. Both of them have that on their armor as they close in.
I want to take a very risky maneuver. I'm not going to shoot the guards because I don't want to draw attention to my position. I would like to shoot past them and trying to hit a wall above the crowd to draw their attention, because if they see an arrow flunk against a wall, they're going to want to turn around and see where it came from. So I will attempt. Would you make me roll for this?
You're just trying to shoot a wall?
I'm just trying to shoot a wall above the crowd without hurting anybody. I'm trying to draw.
I'm not going to make you roll for that.
Thunk, and it thunks into the wall.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I'm assuming we're doing the 3 action thing, so we're technically kind of initiative. Or?
Yeah.
Well,
So tell me what you want to do next. Yeah.
I'd assume that I'd fire that arrow, and immediately I would use 2 stride actions, and I would just get out of dodge. I'd sprint into the forest, or I'd try and get into the forest and then kind of hook around back towards the crowd, so I'm still in the forest but I can see everyone.
Okay.
I'm just trying to play it quiet and safe.
Okay.
So Kyle, concerned and scared, confused about this coin, he remembers that Elda went to go and get supplies to help tend to the wound. So I said, Crom, let's go and warn Elda that he's already dead. And as we turn to walk out of the tavern, we hear an arrow hit the wall.
Yes.
And of course, Kyle's like, what the hell was that?
Would they know it's my arrow? Speaking that
no.
we spent so much time with
I wouldn't say no.
Say unless
Yeah,
you
no, not
unless
at
you
all.
like specifically color your arrows.
I just
then,
use
yeah.
whatever I can find.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Well, I mean, then we might be able to.
And then all the crowd looks over at Ed, and then you see Elda kind of running back from her hut, which is a little bit outside of town. She's the herbalist, you know, she needs to be close to the forestry. And as she's running back, your eye is drawn to the two large figures, as now half the crowd is also beginning to look at them. And they are, just like I said, well armored, and they're walking straight towards you.
Do I notice the raven?
Yeah, they're not hiding it. You can see the raven on the shoulder.
Crom. It's the ravens.
Not birds.
Not birds. Men.
Bad guys?
Bad guys.
Crom
You
pulls
see-
out 2 bombs.
As she gets, wait, what?
Crom pulls out 2 bombs.
I thought she says you throw 2 bombs. Okay.
Probably straps all time. You see, 24/7.
You see a tall and imposing female human with pale blue eyes, and then walking next to her is a burly and thick muscled dwarf, wild, unkempt red beard, and his chest as broad as a boulder. And his armor specifically looks like it's been through 1,000 battles, dented and scarred. Funny enough, though, the fabric on it is perfect, pristine, clean.
That's scary.
On his back, you can see bounced behind him is a massive hammer, almost as large as he is, and there are runes that glow as he walks. What do you guys do?
Crom gets his bombs. I unsheath my axe, and I make my, I don't know if you're still on my shoulder or not, but I start making my way out the front door of the tavern.
Master Blaster.
Make my way out. Crom, have you seen Lucas?
In this
A
moment,
second ago.
sorry, apologies.
So, we'll go back to Lucas. Lucas, you're running through the woods, and then suddenly you see someone stand in front of you. It's your old friend, Talon. You've known him, as far as you can remember, you've known him for ages. Like, he's
Yeah,
a really
long
good
enough-
friend.
long
And he's
enough,
like,
yeah.
hello. Hello.
Hey, wait, I haven't seen. Wait, you've been gone for years. Why? Wait, why are you here?
I'm just visiting town for the festival.
I thought you left. You
I'm
moved away
here
with your
now.
family. Why? No, wait, huh? Welcome back. I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you,
But
friend.
it's just a weird time. Hey, there's 2 guys here with armor, and I don't know who they are. We don't have people like that. Wait, why are you here?
Has anybody weird come into town?
I would like to roll deception.
Are you trying to lie to him or to figure him out?
No, I'm trying to lie to him
Okay.
because I know we have a weird figure in town. No, we really haven't. I've been in the woods this whole time.
Okay.
I was
need
fishing.
to check something.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
I'm in the dark right now. You guys know something I don't?
No.
I don't know.
I have a feeling of what's going
Yeah,
on.
the way. Hi, friend.
Wait, I would like to use seek motive if I may. Or if
Yeah, why don't we get a seek motive?
I can't do 2 checks, can I? I can't deceive and then seek motive.
You can try one, then we'll continue the role
That's
play,
fine.
the
Yeah,
social
I'm
interaction.
completely okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I just like to be like, yeah, no, I don't. No, I've been in the forest and I've been fishing. I've been at the pond. That is an 11 plus whatever I have, which I need to figure out right now. I apologize. I'm still learning
So
Foundry.
I was going to say, listeners, Zane is the newest of us all. This is a good time to point out, I've been a Dungeon Master for 5e for 8 years, and I switched to Pathfinder just about a year ago. So we're doing the best we can, so you're going to learn right with us.
What would the roll be for that? It'd be deception, correct?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
would be a 12.
Okay. And he just laughs. He's like, why? We're old friends. Why are you lying to me?
I like to look him up and down really quickly. What does he look like?
He's wearing armor with white and gold cloth on it. But for some reason, you love him. And he says, so, tell me, look, friend, you know I'm here for good reasons.
No,
Who
no,
came
you're
into
not.
town?
You're not.
No,
you
you
are
do.
n-
No.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
You do know that he's here for good reasons.
Oh. Yeah. No. You know what? I'm sorry. I haven't seen you in so long. It was so off-putting.
I know, it's been ages.
Hey, you weren't much of a talker beforehand, but I mean, yeah.
So-
I get it. You've probably grown, huh? You've probably met people.
Absolutely. So where's this man that came into town?
You know what? I don't know where he is now, but he was on a table somewhere in the banquet hall.
Let's go find him together as friends.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Why not? So how have you been? Where'd you go to?
I've been great. And as you guys walk, Talon, he's a very thin and gaunt elf. with pale skin, almost bluish. And, but his body language, as far as you're concerned, you guys are good friends. And he's not showing hostile body language either. He's walking right next to you. He's not like holding a weapon at you. He's just walking along. But you are like, for some reason, I trust this dude.
Yeah, I'd imagine at this point I re-knock the arrow back into the quiver I have. It's kind of mounted to my backpack. And I have my bow in my left hand. Nothing out of the usual for Lucas.
Okay. And I will explain why later.
That's completely fine. No, don't explain.
So
Surprise me.
we'll go back to Kyle and Crom. So you guys run out of the tavern and you see these two figures walking up to the table where the man is, and the crowd is around them, and they're under the festival tent that's about 20 or 30 feet away from the tavern you guys went into. What do you do?
I slowly approach with the crowd, and I look at Crom, or actually I don't look at Crom, I don't break eye contact with them, and I tell them, Crom, I don't know what to do. These guys don't look good. I mean, sorry, lady and guy, they don't look like they mean good. What do we do?
The lady walks up to the person and to the man on the table, and the dwarf kind of puts his back to them, facing the crowd, and he's like, all right, I'll back up it, everybody. Make room. This man is injured. Make room.
Who are
Do you say that to him?
you? Yes.
To who? The dwarf or the woman?
The woman.
And the dwarf, before you get close enough to say that, the dwarf is like, "Oh, don't worry, little buddy. You need to make room." Well,
I'm not sure, brother. And I'll ask you a question.
Well, as far as I know, little man, you asked her a question.
Somebody answer my question.
Can I roll lore warfare?
What are you looking for?
I want to see if I've heard stories about these two, specifically with that raven. If I've heard even something in passing involving a bird.
No, warfare will not get you answers. Society will.
I'm trying to society.
So am I. I have a +7.
We live in a society.
So am I. So +7, baby.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Never mind. That's Crom.
Yep.
You're looking at his sheet.
It says party recall knowledge, not me.
Yeah, you have to look at
That's
it.
confusing.
So the dwarf looks up down at you and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, little man. We're just here on business. You don't have anything to worry about."
This business is in Meadowfenne, so I think I have a lot to worry about.
No, we've made no harm to your village.
Did you do this to him?
It's like, oh, don't worry about it. He'll be all right. And you see the woman kind of
He's
come
dead.
up to him. And the man is like, his eyes are slightly opening. And as soon as he sees her, he's like, and just tries to like struggle away. She grabs his arms and without any effort at all, folds them onto his chest, holds both of them with one hand, and just holds him there. And he's like panicking. He's like,
He was dead.
Half the.
I also like to preface that Lucas is not like the super social, friendly, go out and meet people. He's very much the just sit down at a table and drink water type guy. But in this moment, you guys see Lucas like being buddy walking with a man who seemingly has matching armor, and it's Talon, one of the guys that used to come with us fishing
Nope.
when we used to hang out. No,
they don't recognize him.
no, only I do.
Yep.
Like DM non-recorded moment, is this a character I know from my backstory, or is this something that's completely made up? Because I'm tripping out right now, because I know you asked me for friends. This is just one of
right
my
now,
friends.
you trust him with your whole heart.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna walk in and be like, guys, yo, Crom, Kyle, it's Talon. He came back.
And you see the two figures. The lady looks up at him, gives Talon a nod. He gives a nod. And he turns to you and he speaks to you with words like honey. And he says, why don't you go find something that you enjoy? He looks at your hat with all the hooks on. He's like, go fishing or something. And you have never wanted to fish more in your life.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, I love to fish. I'll go do
Lucas?
it more. Yeah.
Lucas.
Yo,
Who's that?
it's Talon. Dude, he like grew up with us, dog. This guy like.
And he walks away from you over towards the table. And he kind of leans down. And you guys are close. And they're not really hiding it. And you guys can keep talking. But that's what he does. He goes over to the table.
Lucas, they have the same armor on. They are
Yeah,
not,
but
they are
we grew
not-
up with that guy. We know him, dude. That's Talon.
Lucas, the guy said look out for the ravens. Look at their shoulder.
Give me a will save.
A will save?
Yeah.
Oh god, I only have a +5. Pray this DC isn't high. 17.
17.
Yep.
And you're like, what? Of course, he's my best friend. Now you can't remember where you saw him. And something, the fog in your brain starts to slowly clear. And obviously, he's still a good guy.
Yeah, that's Talon,
But you're
dude.
like, why
It's like,
why
who-
is he a good guy?
I in this moment, Lucas is kind of like, he's never encountered magic before.
Right.
He's never seen it, so he's just kind of like, why? He's like searching. The first thing he does is like frantically roll up his sleeves and start looking at his arms as if he brushed a plant that he shouldn't have, or starts rolling up his pants and being like, did I touch something? Did I eat something? He starts scraping his tongue with his nails to see if there's any foam. He starts like feeling underneath his eyes for tenderness, and he's like, no, this is. He's like squeezing his fist. He's like, this isn't. Kyle,
Lucas?
it's not my friend, is it?
No. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Hey, whoa. Hey,
I grab Lucas and I kind of move us like outside, me, him, and Crom.
Well, I was going to say, I'm assuming Crumb is still there, right?
Are you still on my
go back a
shoulder?
little bit.
Or
Where are you?
Were you always on my shoulder?
No, I caught down.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I figured. And then I'm assuming you're kind of like fronting up against a dwarf.
Yeah.
And the dwarf who's not a whole lot taller than you, but he's wide, and then he's just like, you can tell when he looks at you, he's not trying to be threatening. Not to you. He's extremely powerful, but he's not trying to shove that in your face. He's just like, oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We'll handle this. And you see the elf that he was just buddies with. He kind of leans over the man who's being held down to the table, and he's like, eyes wide. He's fear painted on his face, and the elf leans down and he goes, where is the artifact? And the man's like, I don't have it. I lost it. I lost it in the forest. And he goes, I know, that's a lie. Do you think that you could try something so simple? And the woman leans down. She goes, you need to take it easy. And he goes, I am, he says while glaring up at her. And he kind of looks up at you, gives you a smile, and it's still a little off-putting. He's like,
I throw a bomb at him.
throw a bomb at...
Yes.
oh Jesus Christ! It's going
Okay.
down.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
What kind of bomb?
It's a blasting stone.
Okay.
Specifically, it's a pebble.
It's like those little things you find in a box and pop on the ground.
I throw a bomb at him. It's a stone. Actually, it's a pebble.
What's it do?
De-escalated.
So, a blasting stone. When this pebble hits a creature or a hard surface, it explodes with a deafening bang. A blasting stone deals the listed sonic damage and sonic splash damage, and each creature within 10 feet of the space in which the stone exploded must succeed a fortitude saving throw with the listed DC or be deafened until the end of its next turn. Many types of blasting stones grant an item bonus to attack rolls.
Give me... So you would roll attack on that one, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for listeners know, quite a few attacks in Pathfinder, the person being attacked makes like a save of some type. So I just need to make sure, because I haven't memorized every single attack for every class in the entire game.
Bad DM.
I'm working on it.
All right, you are losing your hero coin. Go ahead, Kromsky.
You never gave me one to start.
Of course you have one. You should have one at the beginning of every session.
You give out physical coins, and I was lied to.
You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot to hand those
I was
out.
cheated.
No, that's fine.
No, the audience can listen to this. They can listen to my failure.
Yeah. Bad DM.
All right.
0 out of 10. There we go. Oh.
Bag of coins.
ASMR.
Here's your coin.
Yeah, we'll take it back now because you stole it. No, I'm kidding. It's caught in the
One
wires.
for you. And one for you.
Excellent.
Crom gets one.
I appreciate it, sir.
And Kyle gets an extra because he brought soda tonight.
oh, yeah.
All right. So
21.
21. Was it a nat 20 or dirty 20?
It's a dirty 21.
Okay.
Or as I like to call it, a ghetto 20.
You throw it, and the man at the table just leans over slightly, flies behind him, pop! Big loud whoosh in the crowd of villagers. They're
Did
not
I
used
miss?
Oh yeah.
Well, he still takes 1 damage. I'll take
Is it
that.
splash damage?
Yes.
Okay. The shockwave kills the guy on the table.
Hold on. I'm a bomber. I could choose to deal my splash damage to just one target.
Okay.
What a Chad. What a Chad.
Is there any way for him to avoid this? Like, does he make a roll, or is it just straight splash damage?
It's just straight splash damage.
Okay, so he does. He dodges it without any effort at all, but it explodes behind him, and you see his hair like flush forward, and he just grits his teeth. And the dwarf looks at you, and he looks at you like an annoyance. He's just like, I told you to stop. What are you doing? And the elf kind of stands up, and the woman looks up at him. She says, do not do anything. He looks at her, and he goes, fine. And he just glares at you. And she kind of wiggles the guy's hands on his wounds a little bit. He's like, ah! The dwarf. And he reaches back and he puts his hand on his hammer. And he's like, are you going to play nice now, or are you going to be a problem?
Hey, wait. Hey, Crom, let him have the guy. He's probably a bad dude. Let him have the guy.
You don't know that.
Look, there's no reason a political force armed like that would go after a random dude for no reason. Let's just go.
Crom, let's just
go. Come
make
on.
our way out.
We have no reason. We mean no harm. I'm sorry. But that
I
trick you
sheathe
played
my
wasn't
axe.
cool. And I point at the guy who I thought I knew was Talon.
And he looks at you and he smirks a little and he goes, I was just trying to find information. That's all.
Could have just asked.
We can still be friends.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I sheath my axe.
Yeah, and in this moment, I wouldn't be drawing any arrows. I just hold my bow close. And I'm like, come on, let's just bounce.
Crom,
I turn around and start walking.
uppies.
And the dwarf goes, no, you stay here for a second, little one. So why did you have such great interest in the stranger that just got into your town?
He's hurt, needs help, and you're not doing anything but making it worse.
He kind of breathes really heavy. He's, Dame Seraphine. And she kind of goes, the little one makes a good point. And reaches in her bag, pulls out a health potion, and lets go of the man's hands, lifts his head up, and pours the potion into his mouth, and he drinks it, and he's like, as the health potion begins to sew and stitch his flesh back together.
I look at Kyle with like horror, like I've never seen anything. Lucas is like sweating now. His face is visually sweating.
Dwarf takes his hand off his axe, leans down on one knee, which brings him a little bit closer. Like, you guys didn't have much of a difference, but he leans down and he goes, he had an item. We need it. Trust me, you're not going to want to keep it. Do you know where it is?
No.
Give me deception.
Am I good at deception?
Oh, wait, no. I do deception. So, listeners, there are checks in Pathfinder that are secret. And that helps with the role play because they don't know if they successfully lied, right? They have no idea what the person is thinking. So that is going to be, let's see, what is it called? It is a...
Sick motive.
No. You have to do a...
If you guys don't
When you're
watch
lying.
our YouTube shorts, now would be a great time to go do that on YouTube. Mythical Misfits. Go scroll through some shorts if you have a minute on your lunch break, or if you're taking that 30-minute paid shit at work. You know.
Also found on TikTok and Instagram.
Agreed.
So, listener, in Pathfinder, almost everything you want to do has an action. That might sound a little complex and convoluted, but trust me, it plays a lot smoother than it sounds. So, Crom is wanting to perform the lie action. Crom, you want to, or Kirby, I should say, because that's a lot of words for Crom. Do you want to tell us what the lie action is?
Explain it in the Crom voice.
Our listeners need time to get used to understanding him.
All right. So, you try to fool someone with an untruth. Doing so takes at least one round or longer if the lie is elaborate. You roll a single deception check and compare it against the perception DC of every creature you are trying to fool. The GM might give them a circumstance bonus based on the situation and the nature of the lie you are trying to tell. Elaborate or highly unbelievable lies are much harder to get a creature to believe than simpler and more believable lies. And some lies are so big that it's impossible to get anyone to believe them.
All right. So with that, give us a roll.
Come on.
Drum roll.
I don't know what y'all getting all excited about. I got a +1 untrained. That'll be a 14.
14.
Oh boy.
And he just kind of smiles. And he goes, so, friend, there's no need to lie to us. You can just tell us what it is, and then we can collect it and be about our way. And you can enjoy this beautiful festival. He said, I want you to do me a favor. What's your name?
Crom.
Crum. He kind of comes up and puts his arm around you and turns you to like the festival tent. He's like, look at us. You got our beautiful flowers put up. You got our tables brought outside.
As this is happening, Kyle puts his hand on his axe, brace ready for just in case something happens.
Okay. And he goes, I'm assuming your beautiful town is prepping for a festival. Is that right?
Yes.
Right, so give us the item, the artifact that the man came in with, and we will head about our way. In fact, and he kind of lets go and stands up, and he's like, Dame Seraphine, wouldn't we leave these people with some gold? And a lot of this villagers are like, I'd like some gold. He's like, what better way to make a festival a good day then with gold in your pocket and food in your belly and meat in your hands? And a lot of the villagers are like, yeah!
Damn it, Kyle's even getting kind of excited.
And he's like, so, the first person to tell us where the item is gets 5 extra gold. And you see some of the villagers, Kyle, they start kind of like looking at you.
Lucas immediately looks to Kyle and just goes, run, now, come with me, now, Crom will find us, we gotta look, we can go, now.
And
I look at Crom, run, now, and I turn around, I start dragging Kyle with me, and we take the fuck off.
Golgan, before you drag him, Golgan's like, just get him the coin, boy. He saw you playing it with it in your hand. He's like, we don't need it, I don't know what that is, just give it to him.
I turn and book it.
No, And Elda at this point has returned, and she starts like looking at the man and the woman, and the woman is very graceful. She's like, okay, you may continue to heal him, and she like starts putting tinctures on his wounds and all that kind of stuff.
Damn, I thought we were running past her.
And you tell me which direction you're running.
I was gonna. Is she coming in the door?
You guys are not inside.
outside.
Oh,
You're
we're not?
outside. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's been outside.
Okay, sorry. I thought
You're
we were
under festival tents.
Got it.
And yeah, so you guys book. From what do you do?
I'll duck into the crowd.
Okay. And he's like, yeah. Talon, are you ready? And he goes, as always, Dame. What direction are you guys running?
East.
So towards the exits?
Yes.
Like the main town? Okay.
East? I thought you meant west. No, east.
And you see this, Crom. You see the woman that was dealing with and treated the man. She just kind of takes a deep breath, and you see reality around her shift. As if almost it was a flat cardboard cutout, and she opened a door in that cutout of reality and stepped into it and closed it behind her.
Dimension door.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
She steps out right in front of you two, just casually. And she goes, please, can we just have the artifact that he had on him?
We don't have it. You guys are acting weird. We don't want any part.
You do have it. And you need to give it to us. Because if you don't, some very bad things are going to happen to you. You think that your village is safe because the wind is calm here? Beyond your walls, she points out to the road that leads out. Beyond your fields, storms rage that you could never imagine, even given 1,000 cycles of the sun. That coin you carry, it is but a drop in an ocean of secrets, and that ocean will swallow you whole if you are not ready, and none of you are ready. Please, give it to us so we may shoulder that burden, and You don't have to deal with what's coming.
Can I seek motive
Sure.
in this moment? What do you add on the modifier seek motive? Or is it
Thank
just... or-
God you said something.
So sense motive is a secret check.
so
It's
I can't
your
see.
perception versus their deception DC.
My perception is +7.
Okay. You can't get anything more than the words you heard. You can't tell if she's telling the truth or she's extremely practiced, but she seems genuine.
Who are you?
She looks at you. She says, "My name is Dame Seraphine."
No. I don't care about your name. Who are you? That symbol, your people. What do you want? Why are you here? You keep saying this coin. What value does it provide you?
Provides us no value except for taking away power from something very evil. And if that evil gets it, he will use it like fuel to a campfire that burns brighter every day, a fire that will consume this entire nation and the world around it.
Then why are you and that dwarf and that Talon guy acting so strange about it? Why are you guys acting like the evil?
How are we acting evil?
You come into our town and...
And what have we done since we've gotten here? Asked for it?
Yeah,
Healed
and
a
then
man?
Okay, after you guys brutally folded his arms, by the way, you're very strong, folded his arms into what looked like a Chinese pretzel, put it on his stomach, made his wounds hurt more, and then... Stop it. Stop it. I was on a roll.
My apologies. Roll back.
Turned his arms to a Chinese pretzel, then put pressure on the wound. Only after he bled out and was in suffering pain did you heal him, after our little Crom friend said something.
Oh, what I would give. What price I would pay to look at the world like you do, if you think that little bit of pain is too much. So precious.
Don't call me precious. Only my mom can call me that.
Right.
Can I roll an athletics check to chuck the envelope as far as I can into the air?
Sure.
Hope this is the right decision, guys.
Yeah.
It's probably not.
Brother, that's a D12. Oh no, the can is in the way.
Plus 7. Not very good, buddy. That is a 15.
So you grab it out of your pocket, you go to chuck it up, and a hand grabs you from behind and grabs your wrist.
Did she dimension door again? I don't like this lady.
In that moment, and I might be stretching it, can I reflex check to snatch it and take off? May I roll reflex? If not, no shame, no harm.
Yes, but it's going to be against this person's DC.
God, is she strong, man?
It's not her.
Well, I have a
it's
plus
somebody
9 to
else.
read.
Oh, it's not her. It's somebody else, buddy.
It's Talon.
Oh, no.
Okay. Hold on. I have a plus 9 to reflex. This may be possible if I roll high.
No.
That'll be a 19 plus 9.
28.
It's not enough.
No way.
This guy
These
apparently.
guys have stats, by the way.
We're also level 1. They're probably like level 10. Let's be real here.
10.
So you
I
go
swipe
to
my arm out
I
to
would
try
say
and
yeah.
grab
You
it.
try to grab, and all you do is hold Kyle's hand. It's a little awkward. You know?
Can I try
buddy.
to grapple in my very feeble attempt to grapple her?
Let's resolve one thing at a time. Your wrist is grabbed, the envelope is pulled. And Talon kind of like steps, he takes a few steps back and his head's like hung down. He's like, walks back a little bit. And you
smooth
can
operator.
try and grapple
Why
her.
does Talon move like that?
I was like, why is he moonwalking?
Yeah, this dude's nasty sounding.
Like,
All
man, this
right,
guy's
I'm gonna
stepping,
roll
though.
to try and grapple
You,
this.
you guys will
broad.
see.
Was.
don't
You'll
like
see,
that.
and you'll miss him.
Damn. You know what? Is it athletics or strength?
Grapple, I believe that's athletics.
None of these are like rolling.
I wonder-
Actually, I think it's against her.
Grapple check versus fortitude DC.
Yep.
So athletics check.
Yeah, athletics versus her force.
Well, it was 12.
Oh yeah, no. You try and grab her, and she just kind of like doesn't move. It's almost unsettling how she feels like a stone pillar. And she goes, "You're a handsome boy, but you don't need to hug me. Please let go.
I'm not trying to hug you, lady. I'm trying to put you down.
Well, we have the item now. Please go back to your festival." You hear an explosion on the other side of town. A fireball and smoke begins to emerge, and you see her eyes and her mood just drop. And she goes, God damn this. We tried to save them. Not another one. And Talon goes, we tried, missus, we tried.
as she's kind of monologuing, I'm holding on to her still. I'm like, is this the evil you were warning us about?
And she doesn't even answer. She just takes your hands and steps back, turns around and draws her sword, which lights up with the runes down the blade as she kind of stands in position. And Talon stands up next to her. He's ignoring you guys at this point. And she looks at him, and he looks at her, and he goes, I don't think we can survive another fight against them. She goes, but we must try. And at this point, you see the dwarf who's farther down the main street, you know, and he's shouting at all the people. He's like, run, run for your lives, get you home, run for the forest. And he pulls out his big old hammer, lightning starts to spark off of it. And he starts running as fast as he can, his armor shink, 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 as he's running towards that direction. And Dame Seraphine turns around and looks at you, Kyle, and you, Lucas, and she just, it's almost pity in her eyes. She goes, we tried. I'm sorry.
What's going on?
They
Who are those
begin,
people?
they start walking towards the commotion. Do you guys follow?
I grab my axe as if I'm trying to follow. Can I roll? No, you know,
You see a fireball being sent from some alleyway, and it hits a hut of Mrs. Smith, and it explodes. Her home gone. She's lived there for her whole 80 years and is now engulfed in flames. What were you gonna do?
well, I was gonna roll lower warfare, but not anymore.
You can give it a shot.
I want to
It's not
see.
gonna take extra time, so go ahead.
I just want to see. I guess now, because I heard her say we probably can't survive another fight. I kind of want to see if I can see the damage on them and if we would even be helpful.
Give me perception.
Perception. God, I'm rolling awful today. That is a 4 plus 6. That's 10.
You can't tell their armor's thick. The fabric and the cloth on the armor has been cleaned. You know, and maybe that's part of who they are. After a battle, they clean up. You know, no matter how hard damaged they are, they want to put on an image of strength. But you can't tell with a 10 exactly how hurt they are.
I'm gonna yell out to Kyle and just be like, "Hey, I don't think that's man-made. I don't think we've ever seen. I've never seen it. Have you seen something like that? Where's Crom?"
I was to say, let's cut to Crom. What's Crom doing?
What's happening since we cut back
So
to
you saw her open up a door in the dimension of the world, step into it, and close it behind her. Mm-hmm. And the big, the dwarf is right next to you, and he just kind of like, he looks at that happen and looks at you, don't see your reaction. And he, at this point, nothing's happened yet, so he's kind of having fun. He's like,
I'm staring him down.
he's looking at you, he's like, that's crazy, right? I know, it feels worse than it looks, too.
You're not that tall.
No, I never pretended to be tall. Us dwarves are short and stout and strong. You're short and stout.
Well, you said you're short and stout. You said I'm short and stout.
We're both short and stout. But I'm strong.
I'm strong too.
No, you're Crom.
Well, I mean, yes, I'm Crom, but I'm also strong.
Flex. Money
It's a
spread.
little something. I'm kidding.
And Gogan's like, he's been working on it. I see him lift up the weights. It's not weights. He saw you like messing with your bombs, but he got it wrong. And the guy's like, short thing. And the dwarf turns around and he kind of watches his other teammates, see, make sure it's going okay. And then he kind of looks back at you, and he goes, so how's it going?
It's been kind of a weird day.
You're telling me. So what are you guys celebrating?
It's Sonasta. It's a summer festival.
Oh, that's nice. Well, it's like the end of summer, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't really keep track of it. I just meant fireworks and I didn't mean mutton.
Oh, that's a good trade, man. That's a good trade. Takes another glance at his teammates and see like they got it.
You're not a bad guy, are you?
No, not at all.
Oh, so you guys fight against something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Boom! At that point, the explosion happens. And so you hear him, he's like, run for your lives! And he pulls his hammer out and starts running over to them.
As he starts to start running, I'll try to climb him and ride him to stay in the fray.
He hasn't decked you as an
combatant.
enemy, so he doesn't hurt you. But at first, he's like trying to swat you off. He's like, "What the hell? What?
Just keep moving, keep moving.
Fine, guys." And he's running along.
I watch your back.
He's like, "This will get you killed, buddy. You should run." And he goes over, and as he rounds the corner, you're faced with something that you've never seen before. You see a dozen figures. You see some of them tall, standing there, covered in black armor. You see hyenas on chains and leashes as they gnash, and then some of them let go. The hyena chase down a villager and jump on their back, pull out the back of their neck spine and rip it out and shake really hard, and their body goes limp the moment it happens. And you also see one of them casting spells as giant maggots worm their way up out of the dirt and start to slither along the ground and spray acrid goo all over the ground. And you see the dwarf, he looks at you and goes, "There's no shame in running, little man. It's okay. I won't hold it against you."
I have to protect home.
We'll do that for you. That's what the ravens are for. If you're dead, there's no home to protect. Go find your friends. Please.
Crom will climb down and go run and try to find Kyle and Lucas.
As you start to run away, you hear his hammer hit the ground and lightning just explode.
Let me amend that. Before I run away, I give him an elixir of life.
Okay, he takes it and he immediately drinks it.
Oh, damn.
Oh, hold on. I might have more than one.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, that worries me.
These men and women
men.
walked into our village ready to
death
destroy
upon
for that coin.
It might bite me in the ass, but I'm gonna give him 2 more.
And he doesn't take them. He pushes them back into your chest and he's like, "I want you to survive. At the end of the day, I need to go. Wherever I go, however I go, I need to know that you're alright, little friend. You take him."
What's your name?
My name? Borden. Borden Cragjaw. They call me the Boulder. And he kind of like taps his chest as the hyena, the more and more release, and he's like, "You need to go now, friend. Go. And he kind of like picks you up and sets you down. He's like, "Run as fast as those legs can carry." And his hammer hits the ground, and at that point, you hear the hyenas shriek as he begins to fight.
Yeah. Then now Crom will go try to find Kyle and Lucas.
Okay, you run back onto the main street, off the away from the alleyway, the side street that you were on. And at this point, I'm assuming you guys are running looking for Crom.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going for Crom.
Okay, Talon and Seraphine are running, and they saw Borden go around the corner, and as they start to go, some people come out of an alleyway out of nowhere, completely different side of town. So people come out and they start fighting, and swords clashing, sparks flying, spells being tossed through the air. You guys see more magic in 30 seconds as you've seen your entire lives.
I'm gonna retcon what he said. I didn't go running looking for Crom.
Oh, you didn't? No, I said I go for
you
Crom.
did.
I go
Yeah.
for Crom, yeah.
I'm staying with Lady Seraphine, and I can just tell I need to help protect home. That's what I'm supposed to do. I couldn't protect my home, my original home. I need to protect this home. So I grab my axe, and as terrified as I am, I'm looking for something to hit.
Okay, you see, she comes up, and sorry, I'm looking at my enemy list, and she's fighting this one large armored person, and they are in hand-to-hand combat with their weaponry melee. And he had a hyena that he let go, and the hyena is chirping at you. It's like as it's gnashing its teeth and starts running towards you.
I get ready to attack with my great axe. Let me load in. For some reason, Kyle unloaded on Path Builder, because reasons. Okay, so I'm gonna roll for my great axe. That is a
You got a 5 over here.
Yep, that is a 8 plus 7.
So
That
12
is a
plus 8, 20. 5 plus 7 plus 8.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, what was the attack again?
Dirty 20.
Dirty
at
20?
A
That hit?
5 plus 4, so that is 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay, you hit the hyena with a pretty impressive strike as the blade sinks and it yelps. And these things are nasty. They're not like wild animals. You know, hyenas can be tough, but they're looking for dinner. These guys, they got pustules on them, extra strong muscles. They're drooling, and it's yelps in pain, and then goes to bite you. Wait, that was only how many?
That was
actions?
only one attack.
Okay, yeah. So since we're kind of in initiative, listeners, Pathfinder, you have 3 actions. You can attack 3 times if you'd like. You have something called the multiple attack penalty, which is it adds a -5 to each attack past the first. So the second attack has a -5, the third attack has a -10.
I was going to say, don't tell them. They can experience it for themselves when it comes along.
But they might not understand the math unless they know why his other attacks suddenly have less of a modifier. All right, you going to attack again?
I'm going to attack again.
Okay,
and
so that's going to
pray
be at
to
a
the
-5
gods.
to his roll.
Mind you, Kyle is now, having been up close, he's scared at what this monster looks like. That is an 18 plus 2. That is a dirty 20 again
Okay, give me damage.
with a 10 on damage.
10. All right, you draw the axe out and then drive it back down onto this thing. It sinks deep, blood sprays, it yelps, it loudly. It's not looking good. It starts to limp a little bit.
In a frenzied panic, Kyle swings one last time with his axe. He's screaming in terror and in anger that this may be the second home that he's let down. Híjole, that is an 11 with 12 damage, sir.
Okay, 11 misses. You pull the axe out and it like slides out of the way as your axe drives down into the dirt, and you pull it up, and out of reaction it nips at you and goes to bite. That's going to be a 19.
Hits.
Okay, and it's going to do 11 points of damage.
Oh,
as its
my
jaws
God.
sink into you. You feel the pop, pop, pop as its teeth break your skin.
You said 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you at?
Okay.
No, what are you at?
Half my health.
Half health. Okay. It bites and shakes its head, even though it's almost dead. Like its torso's almost bisected in half.
It's hungry.
It lets go and it goes to bite you again. And it lands with a 19, doing 9 points of damage.
Oh my God.
It bites you again, and this time into your calf as it sinks and blood starts to spurt out and pour out. At this point, you see a figure flash into your vision almost instantaneously as a blade is driven into the skull as Talon pulls his dagger out of the skull of the hyena. And he looks at you and he sees you got a big wound in your thigh, you got a big wound in your calf, and he goes, "You and your friends need to flee." And next to them, you guys see the big figure fighting Dame Seraphine, and it's not going well. She is getting slammed, and as you both actually begin to look at her, he gets one move too quick as his sword slides into her stomach and out her back. And she coughs blood onto his armor. And at this point, the figure's head kicks back and his eyes light up and flames burn out. And his body starts to kind of go limp, and you hear it say, "I told you, there is no corner of this world you can hide." And then the figure takes his hand, begins to cast a spell, puts it right on her head, and casts like a level 6 fireball. Seraphine explodes. He explodes. You and Talon are launched sideways and slide in the dirt. And Talon gets up. He coughs. The hyena's body's there. Seraphine's what's left of her is smoking. The corpse of that figure is also almost completely dismantled. He has no arm, no upper torso, smoking. And Talon looks at you, and he reaches and holds out the envelope. And his hand's shaking. He's like, take it. Run.
But
Take it.
where do I go?
You need to flee through the Chrono Forest, the Chrono Canopy. And do you know the Chrono Canopy only through myths and legends? It's a portion of the forest that make up this continent that time does not behave normally. It's been walled off by the crown hundreds of years ago. People are not allowed in there. It tells you running through the Chrono Canopy is the only way for them to lose. And at this point, you hear screaming. We're going to go back to Lucas for a second. What do you do? What are you doing?
In this moment, I see Kyle fighting. I know he's kind of in his element. I don't see Crom. I imagine that I'm going to roll. Odds, he goes and looks for Crom. Evens, he runs to what his little shack home is, and he starts preparing like a go bag. That's odds. I go look for Crom.
Okay. What does Crom do after he's put down?
He starts. He's booking it, looking for Kyle and Lucas.
Okay. At this point, I would say that you see Crom like come out of an alleyway or a side street, and you guys lock eyes.
Yeah, I'm like, Crom, we got to go now.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
That was the most Scooby-Doo ass.
Songs, we gotta leave.
Like, Zoe Scoob, we got to dip. Yeah, sorry. Oh, man. That was good. Fist bump up top. That was solid. Lucas is immediately, like, nods his head, and he's like, what do you have on you? What do you have on your person?
Bombs.
Good enough. He starts patting around on his pockets, his various little like breast pocket, and he's got like things on the outside of his arm, like little like drop pockets type deal with like little buttons. He's like feeling around. He's like, okay, flint, sticks, bait, hooks, fishing rod, blanket, tarp.
Lucas!
We might be able to survive. We need to go get Kyle.
Then let's go get Kyle.
Yeah, we bang out for Kyle, and I assume that as we get to the open,
I was say as you turn to start facing towards Kyle, that's when that explosion goes off.
Yeah, I was just
And you guys aren't quite close enough, but you're close enough to feel the heat. So much so that you kind of duck and put your arms in front of your face. Like a high-level fireball is an insane amount of damage.
intense, yeah.
And it turns into basically a mushroom cloud as it explodes and smoke rises into the sky. You see Kyle and another figure flung across the courtyard. The tables and the festival tent just whoosh, get launched as if they were pulled by a tornado, but it's away from the fireball. Just chaos. You guys, you don't recognize your home anymore. Fires everywhere, hyenas running, people screaming.
As this is all going down, Lucas would probably hunker down to like full survival mode. I'm going to look to Crom, nod, and I'm going to start sprinting towards Kyle. I'm assuming as I sprint, he's going to be knocking an arrow, and he's going to see the envelope being handed back to Kyle. In this moment, he hears nothing, he sees nothing, he is fully tunnel visioned on Kyle. That is all that matters. Kyle needs to get up, and we need to go. I imagine as I run up, I look to Crom, and I'm like, does he look hurt? Can he walk? Can you move?
But before they get there, Talon tells you, he's like, the only way to stop this attack is by taking this item. They know, they can tell where it is. Leave your village, and they will leave eventually. Some of you might survive. And he looks around at the devastation that has racked Meadowfenne, and he goes, hopefully, may the gods bless us. Please, run. Do what you wanted to do when we got here. Protect it. Protect your people, and leave.
Okay. I'll come back for you. I grab the
He says,
envelope.
don't you dare. Go to the town. He coughs, some blood comes up. You think that the explosion probably hit him a little harder than you, because he pushed you out of the way to attack the hyena, who he was close. And he coughs, blood spatters and strips down his chin. He goes, go to the town of Wilsden. Find the Raven Inn, and speak to the wise sage there. Trust me, he'll know what to do.
Raven in White Sage. What's going on?
Okay, he kind of stands up and he dimension doors out.
I have the envelope, right?
Yeah.
I put it in my jacket pocket. Yes, I have one. And I attempt to get up, but ankle or thigh and calf,
Yeah.
pretty much holes in them, correct? From the
Yeah,
hyena
big
bite.
bites. Yeah.
And
You're
I have
hurting.
to brace on my axe on that. I'm just going to assume it's my left leg that got bit. So I'm bracing on my axe, and I'm barely making it to stand. And I lock eyes with Lucas, who's running at me at a very uncomfortable pace.
Full speed. I'm like life or death right now. Tunnel visions. Nothing else matters. Friends need to leave.
You look at Lucas, and your eyes fix on some commotion behind you, and Talon dimension doors out into some chaos, and he's just using his daggers expertly as he's slicing up some of these people and cutting hyenas as they're running past him. As he sprints along, puts a dagger in the top of one of the maggots and drags it along its whole top as it splatters out, and then he takes it 2 arrows to the chest. But he doesn't stop. He keeps going. He keeps fighting. And some of the larger figures, the people in armor, start to descend down onto him. But he is giving it his all.
Noted.
More explosions around town.
I apologize. In this time, have we made it to Kyle?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I look to Crom, and as he's getting up, I'm like, can he walk? Do I need, let's go. Can you walk?
No.
No,
I can't.
I immediately duck under your arm and I put it around my shoulder and I'm like, pick up your axe. We need to move now. Let's go.
Too slow, drink this. And I give you an elixir of life.
And
Okay.
at that moment, you see the face of Borden, and you just get a flash of him pushing his hand, his big, thick dwarven hand that encompasses both of yours, and the tinctures of the bottle press back into your chest, and you remember that he said, you are going to need them. You can't help but feel like this is also what he meant. Someone you care about is going to need them.
Hate to break the mood, but how much do those heal for?
I'm in need.
I got some holes in my legs. I don't know what happened between you and the boulder, but
I'm going to pass you 2 of them.
let's see what one
and
does first.
I'm going to pass you 2 of them, and they heal 1d6 plus 1. I'm going to tell you in Dwarven.
Drink.
Dwarven
Drink
or
and
Goblin?
live.
In Dwarven.
I don't speak Dwarven.
So he's just shouting something. He's like,
His voice changes.
Wait, the
That is 4 on the first one. That puts me
Plus
up
1.
to 6. Yeah, that's 4.
oh,
I'll take the second one. That is 7. Puts me up to 13.
Also, I like how you describe this dwarf. In my mind, I just imagine he's built like a drag slick. Like, those big old tires like on drag
yeah,
cars.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this
Yeah,
guy's
you
as
said
wide
he
as he
was
is tall.
wide, yeah.
I'm like, this man is a 325. This man is a big.
you guys ever play Fallout? Was it Mr. 5 feet wide or something like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
So as
I
you,
never played Fallout.
we're not going to get into this right now. So you drink the healing, and you feel it's uncomfortable. It's almost painful. It's itchy.
Never had one
It's
before.
like
It tastes
healing.
like kiwi.
It's you know how a wound heals over time, how it gets itchy. It feels. Imagine all of that compressed into a couple of moments, and it's just like as your wounds seal up. It is extremely uncomfortable. But
Okay.
you're not bleeding anymore.
Noted. And I can walk?
Yeah,
Or
you
run,
go-
more
yeah,
importantly?
Yeah, you're gonna limp a little bit, but
All right.
you're
Well,
doing better.
Lucas, I'm still going to have you hang on to me just in case we're going to move.
That's fine. Let's go.
You want another one?
Hey.
I took 2.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so?
Do you have another one?
I can measure them.
It's fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Do we wait? As we're running, do we want to get supplies? I have a go bag.
We have to go.
Aren't
Okay,
you a
let's go.
forager? You can get stuff. Run!
Fine.
I don't even explain. I just lead them the only path I know to get to the fort. It starts with a C. I know.
Chrono
that.
Canopy.
Chrono Canopy.
Chrono Canopy.
And I start running that way.
And you guys know that the Chrono Canopy is north of Meadowfenne.
Okay.
Meadowfenne is set in kind of a meadow. At the a little bit out is the forest. A little bit through the forest, like a little bit northwest, is the pond that you like to fish at. But if you continue north into thicker forest, you eventually hit the chrono canopy. So yeah, you guys start to head north, and
As we're running, I just hear the screams, and it's overlapping with a distant memory of mine of other people I cared about screaming. I envision Dame Seraphine's whole body just exploding, and tears just start to wallow down Kyle's eyes as he feels like as if he's failed again. But then he remembers Talon's words of, "You need to go to do what you said you were going to do in the first place, and that's protect your home."
as you guys get just a little bit out of the edge of the building, edge of town, probably 10, 20 feet away from the edge of the buildings where normally you guys have walked out this way and have entered in the knee-high and peaceful grasslands of the meadow that surrounds the village, you hear from behind you, "Freeze where you stand!" And you turn to look, whether you keep running or not, but you do take a glance and you see one of those black-clad armored figurines as he lifts up a bow, and it is, you're impressed, Lucas. It is huge.
Like a longbow?
Intricate. Yeah, it's a longbow. It is ornate. And he goes to pull back an arrow. He knocks an arrow, and it's tri-tipped. And it is nasty looking. It's spiked. It's got the backwards facing spikes, so if it goes in, it cannot be pulled out ever.
That thing's nasty.
So he goes, and then you, is anybody watching him? Like, what are you guys doing as you run and you hear that?
In this moment, I'm still with Kyle, correct?
Yeah.
I do the only thing I can do, and I throw my body weight on the ground, wrapping both my hands around Kyle's like back of his neck, almost like holding him to my chest, and we hit the ground, hit the dirt.
Okay.
Crom,
and then
drop low.
you hear a lightning shatter, and then the arrow goes right over your head. And it hits the dirt in front of you and explodes. So it goes, dirt falls on you guys, and then you kind of get up out of the chaos and look back, and the armored figure is standing up, and you see the boulder there, holding his hammer with his only remaining arm. And he's like breathing heavy. He's like, "Leave those Velatars alone!" And he starts to run at that guy, and they begin to duel it out. Yeah.
Oh man.
So you guys know that you have a
God,
small window to
I get up
flee.
and
Yeah,
I
we
just
get up
start
and start running. This is
Limp
like
or not.
D-Day all over again. Crom, come on, let's go.
I'll say, what's Crom doing?
He doesn't want to run. He's really worried about the boulder. But he knows he has to.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
reluctantly, Crom will turn and run.
Exiting the meadow kind of heads into an incline, as the forested area is a bit hillier. So you guys start to go up as you approach the pine trees that you have spent many a summer smelling as the breeze brings it into your once peaceful village. You get up to the tree line as sparse trees become thicker as you walk in, and you stop for a moment. And Kyle, you put your elbow up onto a tree and you catch your breath, and Lucas, you also do the same. You're just kind of like taking a moment to try and even breathe because you guys haven't had a chance. And you look back and it's a juxtaposition. It's a weird sight. Normally when you stand here, especially you, Lucas, when you head towards the lake, you've taken this
Many
area
times, my whole life.
multiple
Born and
times.
raised.
And when you look back, you're used to seeing this beautiful village with its thatched roofs and stucco buildings and log houses and the Golgan's Hall, the city hall that sits in the middle, usually resting as the sun sets as you bring back your catch from the day. But instead, you're greeted with pillars of smoke that almost blot out the horizon. Your village is on fire, your home is on fire. Lucas, what memory comes into your mind?
I think there's a split feeling. Lucas inherited the fishery that his parents left behind. They fled when the business failed, and part of him is thankful that there's a chance that fishery is currently burning down, there is another part of him that realizes that's all he has left of his parents. He doesn't know where they're at, whether they're alive or dead, but he just takes a deep breath and looks to Kyle and offers a hand.
All right. Kyle, your elbow digs into the rough bark of a pine tree. It's similar almost to how it felt when your elbow would press against the icy rocks of the north from where you grew up. You look back at this village that accepted you, that you called home, that took you in after you left your village. What memory comes to mind before you leave?
I think back to how every winter solstice I would make hot cocoa for the entire village of Meadowfenne and pass it out to everybody. And even though no one asked for it, or you probably even liked it, they all drank it and they all smiled and they all said thank you. And just imagining those faces now covered in ash.
Crumb, you jog up and you see Lucas kind of set Kyle on a tree, and you look back to the boulder to see how the fight's going. And from this far away, you see his lifeless figure lying on the ground, his hammer strewn about, and the person fighting him is nowhere to be seen. Likely walked back into the village. What memory comes to mind?
A memory for Crom that comes to mind would probably be the first time, his first set of bombs that he made for his very first festival, and then Gulgan giving him just a big juicy piece of mutton, and just sitting in the crowd watching his fireworks, sitting next to Gulgan, and just eating and just watching everyone just enjoy the weird sense of joy that everyone gets from such destructive things that he makes.
All right. And with that, the warning that you were given, Kyle, that echoes in your head, leave, and that is the only way to get them to stop. Take the artifact out of the village. Echoes back into your mind, and you know you guys need to keep going. Get into the forest. As the sun begins to inch towards the horizon, you need to get out of here. You guys then gather your strength and walk into the pine forest that rests on the edge, into a life that you have no idea where it's going to go. But you know you need to get to Willesden, and you need to find the sage at the Raven Inn. And that is where we will end episode 1. Thank you for joining us, listener, for the brand new adventure in this homebrew world using Pathfinder 2e, and for joining us, Mythical Misfits. I hope you join us for episode 2 coming out next week. And please, if you enjoyed this, go onto iTunes, leave us a review. I know it's not super common these days, but it helps. Talk about us on X or whatever name that Elon has chosen at this point. Talk about us on Instagram and TikTok. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We're Mythical Misfits Show on pretty much everything. We're on YouTube as well. And yeah, we just need help getting the word out about the Mythical Misfits. See you all in episode 2. Oh, by the way, if you want to hear us talk, we are going to have a Patreon. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to pay right now. Fall in love with us first, but we are going to chat about session 1. And that will be on the Patreon. So if you want to hear us yap, go over there, patreon.com/Mythical Misfit. Otherwise, we will see you in episode 2.